What's up, baby? This is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Make sure you tap into Black Authentic Truth for your latest news. It's great information, baby. Bomb Squad!
Man, you know what's going on. It's your boy Geechee Gotti. I'm rocking with Black Authentic Truth. You want to learn something? Tune in, man. Get your knowledge up. Get your history up, man. Know about something, man. You know what time it is, man. Geechee Gotti, Black Authentic Truth, man. Like and subscribe.
Black man, I have an obligation to my race of people, not to no other race, or no other nationality, just to black people.
And you have always hated us. We have loved you consistently for 400 years. We prayed to that white Jesus, and we saluted your flag, and we died in your militaries, and you beat us like dogs.
This is Black Authentic Truth. My bad, y'all. Hey, what's good with y'all? This is the Wagga Bar for Black Authentic Truth. And you read it right. We got a hell of a lineup to go, all these stories to go into. You read the title right, FBA nonsense. I want to talk about some stuff that's been going on behind the scenes. A lot of people probably don't even know. A lot of people don't even know what FBA is, right? Also, white fragility and the quarter zip trend. Now, these are the main topics, but there's some other things we're going to go into, okay? Some terrible stories. So, yeah. And at the end, we're going to get that Black Authentic Truth history lesson, right? We're going to do the quiz where I test your might, test your knowledge on your Black history. Do you know the Black figures in history? You know what I mean? But, yeah, so let me give some shout outs first. Let me get some shout outs because I seen some people in the comments real quick. Shout out to Kalmaz Boff, Renee Gaines, and brothers and sisters. If you tapped in, make sure you just share the video if you could. You know what I mean? Also, how am I sounding? I forgot. I always start the show off with asking, how is your Sunday going? How is your Sunday? You know, what is the weather like? How is it going? Where you at? Out here in Southern California, the weather is decent. It's a little tiny chill in the air, and I'm sure people like my sis Renee, you know, this ain't nothing to her, but there's a small chill in the air, but it is overall a beautiful day. It's a really nice day outside, right? Waiting for a few people to tap in. I know Black Rain gonna drop up in here. Kapa and Shalat also gonna drop up in here. Let me make sure I shared it everywhere before I get into it. Oh man, that was. Let's see. Yeah, I shared it everywhere. So without further ado, right, going to get into this topic of FBA. Now, recently it's been this thing, and first of all, let me just say, when it comes to FBA, most people identify FBA with Tariq Nasheed. Y'all know that Tariq Nasheed, he did a drop for Black Authentic Truth, and I usually play him all the time as far as, you know, make sure you subscribe to Black Authentic Truth and that type of thing. And recently there was this issue with my brother, Captain Tazariak, who is my brother, you know what I mean, who is not only my brother, but he is a great counselor and all of the above to me. Okay. I was with Captain Tazariak when we were at No Jumper, and we actually, met Tariq, and I even told Tariq about, I appreciate hidden colors and things of that nature. But recently it's been this thing where Captain Tazariak had brought out the fact that when it comes to the FBA movement, and let me just clarify, I don't even really know if Tariq is the head of FBA movement. I know it's not an actual organization, but Captain Tazariak had brought it out that, there was this trans man that was saying he was the woman, the first lady of the FBA. And, he just asked the question, and then Tariq went on and made a video, not actually calling. Well, Captain Tazariak got at him directly, but then he made a video where he is he's talking about Captain Tazariak, but he's not saying it, and he's calling him a Fed, like he's an agent, a Fed, like asking a question like that, like what's going on, what's up with that? And Captain Tazariak genuinely wanted to just know, like, what is this all about? Because if this is a Black organization that represents Black people, how is that helping Black people? And so it was a falling out, and I wouldn't even really say a falling out. It's really not that serious, especially from Captain Tazariak's side, especially from my side. It's not that serious, but we as Israelites, as Black men who hold ourselves to a certain standard, if somebody is saying they represent us and they are part of the LGBT community, that ain't gonna fly. It's going to get addressed immediately, right? And so, I raised questions. This was about 3 months ago. I did a few videos and just asking, because I honestly didn't know. I see people say, oh, we FBA and all of that. I was like, what is the difference between FBA? That's the question I asked. What is the difference between FBA and being an African American? Because it seems to me that they are asking the same things. They're asking for reparations. They want to be recognized for their contributions to America. And these are some of the same things that regular Black people that call themselves African Americans ask for. What separates FBA from an average African American more than just changing the name and going with a different moniker? which is FBA, and FBA stands for Foundational Black Americans. I asked that question a long time ago. I posed the question, what is the difference? What are you vying for? What are you asking for? What is the morals? What are the standards? What is it? You know what I mean? And that I'm still posing that question to this day. What separates them? What makes them different from African American? Okay. And so you have they saying it's a troll, but this troll has been around for 4 years, claiming to be the first lady of the FBA, but this is a trans man, or saying he's the first lady of the FBA. So if it's been 4 years, why no one has addressed it? Why has no man came out and said, this person has nothing to do with what we got going on, right? That's just a question that I'll throw out there in the air. The thing is, though, what I see personally with the FBA, because I've been in some rooms like on TikTok and different stuff, and I'm listening to what they talk about. Typically, the talking points is, we're not African, which that's a talking point I can agree with. That the Negro is not the same as Native Africans. Another talking point that I cannot agree with is that we different from the Black people in the Caribbean. We different from Jamaicans. We're different from Haitians. Those people are Caribbeans. They're not us. So it's based on just Black Americans in America, right? And so I don't agree with that, because it just doesn't make sense, because the only thing that separates us from those brothers and sisters is a boat stop, meaning the boat came from West Africa, stopped there in the Caribbean, then dropped the rest of the slaves off in America. So there's no difference from my standpoint. But then you have FBAs that say we was already here in America. And they say we are the real Native American Indians. And you've seen this rise up like within the last 2 or 3 years, that this ideology that we are the Native Indians, because you have pictures of dark-skinned Native Indians, right? And then you have some Black people that their lineage is being a Native Indian. They track their lineage to a certain tribe, whether it's Cherokee or Choctaw or something like that, Yamasee. But I think where they go wrong at is just in general saying that, because a lot of Black people, you are not no damn Native Indian. Your ancestors came on ships to this place. Now, some dark-skinned people, some Black people are. So I'm not going to deny that. But these are the ideologies I see within FBA. Another point I want to make is with this trans man saying that he's the first lady of FBA. Aside from this, just in general, when it comes to Black organizations, okay, when it comes to Black organizations, it always seems as though they have to include someone from the alternative community. Many people don't know that Martin Luther King was advised by a gay man. The gay man is the one who introduced him to worshiping, Gandhi. Then you look at like movements like the Black Lives Matter movement. That movement was compromised from the beginning, created by LGBT women, right? And so it's like, when it comes to Black organizations, why can't they just be led by strong Black men with, morals and with a purpose? Why can't they be in the background? You get what I'm saying? Why can't Black men just have something that is morally right? It has a purpose to help fix Black people, and nobody else can infiltrate that. No other philosophy can infiltrate that purpose. Like Black Lives Matter was doomed from the beginning. And when I'm saying Black Lives Matter, I'm talking about the organization. And you've seen the history and you've seen what ended up happening to Black Lives Matter. But Black Lives Matter was built on the back of Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Black men that were unjustly unalived by law enforcement, or, you know, people who wanted to act like or deputize themselves as law enforcement. But the gist of it is that it was about the unjust treatment and the unfairness of law enforcement in taking the lives of unarmed Black men. It built it, and it got millions of dollars and donations, and that money went to, you know, women, LGBT women, who mishandled those funds and never even helped out those families that it was built on. But anyway, that's what the point I wanted to talk about. I don't want to get too far off of it, but it's really about this nonsense with FBA. And what I see as being an Israelite is I see that Black people are just lost sheep. You create an identity every couple of years, you know. African American, FBA is just like African American in the way I see it. But we always trying to separate ourselves and find an ideology. And this thing, which is so crazy, I understand where I don't agree with it, but I understand how they're trying to say how, you know, they push like, you know, Mexicans ain't, you know, we ain't got nothing to do with Mexican people. They ain't going to help us, and, you know, all of that crap, because that's not nothing new. Okay. Because I see Black people be racist to Mexicans and Mexicans be racist to Black people. And they get that from the racism of white folks over the decades. Right. But it's really crazy to see them say Haitians and Jamaicans, they ain't our people either. Just make a separation like that. That is basically the same type of separation and prejudice that white people inflicted on Black people, you know? So it's not showing me anything profound, anything new. FBA is not showing me none of that. What it's just showing me is that Black people just want to be able to separate themselves and make a new identity every couple of years. Okay. And I stand on that. And I want all the smoke when it comes to FBA. I want all the smoke. Black authentic truth. Okay. So I'm gonna drop that, man. I'm gonna drop that. I didn't see that Renee had I didn't see that you had responded, right? You said I could just it's cold, just got off my slave, 10 hours down, time for me to drink. I heard that. Time for a drink, it's cold, just did 10 hours. Yeah, it ain't nothing like having a nice drink, a nice something to relax you, or just, you know, a nice shower, you know, or something like that after working long hours, you know. Yeah, so now I want to talk about something that I talked about last week, okay? It's a story about a pregnant Black woman being sent home while she was actively in labor, which is crazy, but we know that historically they just don't look at Black women like, you know, they are in pain. It's something going on in the medical field, because this is back to back. This is back to back. You know what I mean? Yeah, so let me get this video real quick. Get this video. Okay. It's on YouTube, so I'm gonna be screen sharing. Let me see. Where are we at? Let's remove that. Let's Okay. There we go. Let's see if we can make it bigger. What is going on?
Relatives of the couple say while they are thrilled to welcome a happy, healthy baby, this is not the kind of experience they would want for any expectant mother. Breathing through her contractions, Mercedes Wells was wheeled out of Franciscan Health Crown Point Hospital Sunday. Her family says hospital staff had just discharged the mother of multiple children, telling her to go home and wait for her labor to progress.
My daughter's in active labor, and this is a Franciscan Crown Point being put out in active labor.
On Sunday morning, I woke up to frantic texts from my mother saying, call me as soon as you wake up.
Sharice Thompson says she knew her sister-in-law had been admitted to the Northwest Indiana hospital, but didn't expect what she would hear next.
But my mother was screaming like, your brother just delivered his baby. Your brother just delivered the baby. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
After the Crown Point Hospital discharged Mercedes, Sharice says her brother Leon escorted his wife back to the truck to find another hospital. 8 minutes into their drive, Leon and Mercedes' daughter was born on the side of the road, delivered by her father.
He grabbed like a blanket and then put the baby on Mercedes' chest, my niece on her chest, and drove the rest of the way to the hospital, to Munster Community.
Doctors at Munster Community Hospital took over, providing the care Sharice says Mercedes pleaded for in Crown Point.
That's
Mercedes
crazy.
begged her. She begged her. And she said, no, I'm really in active labor. I can feel it. I contractions as I walk. I mean, my pain, I'm telling you, I can feel it. And she just ignored her.
The family now calling for accountability.
I want there to be some sort of change so that other families don't have to experience this.
If it implements change, it implements strength, and it implements courage in other women that's going through this, then that's what I'm looking for personally.
Franciscan Health Crown Point Hospital saying in part in a statement, the video and comments it has generated are deeply troubling, and we understand the concern this has raised. The video is just one part of the information we are reviewing as part of a thorough investigation into this alleged incident.
Man, get out of here.
Together with their attorney are planning to hold a news conference tomorrow morning to.
Did y'all hear that? It said the video is disturbing, but they gonna say alleged incident. It's on video. How is it alleged? What happened to this sister? That's crazy. That's crazy, and that's infuriating. But this just happened with the sister that had to sit in the room and get questioned for 30 minutes, and then 12 minutes later she had her baby, and she was in excruciating pain. And so it's like, what is the point? What is the point of even going if this is how women are being treated? What is the point of even, going to the place where you think they're going to help you? And I said, like, we need to get back to having midwives. We need to get back to the practice of midwifery with women that help other women have their babies at home. Like, that's basically what it is. She had the baby in the car. The other sister had the baby 12 minutes later after being there all that time and being questioned instead of being helped right away. That's just sickening. You know what I mean? And then they talking about the comments on the video is troubling. No, what we see on the video is troubling. How that sister got treated was troubling. Getting sent away while you actively in labor is troubling. You know what I'm saying? That's troubling. That should be troubling. But it seems like these people, especially these people that run, the higher ups that run hospitals and stuff, they are desensitized to pain, to humanity, because they see it every day. You know what I mean? And I think I brought that up the last time that, people that work in different type of practices, like, EMTs, nurses, doctors, people that work at mortuaries, police officers, firefighters, they see death a lot, or they see extreme circumstances a lot. And so they become you know, they lose a piece of compassion and what's the word? They lose a piece of their compassion and understanding when dealing with so many people on a regular basis and seeing these things over and over again. You know, and so just for the hospital to say something like that is troubling. This alleged incident, like we see what happened on the video. Literally, you see her in there getting wheeled out. You see her with the baby in the vehicle. Like, knock it off. Renee said, white women become nurses for the same reason white men become polices, to oppress our men and women. That's right. That's right. You know what I mean? And it's an outrage. It's an outrage that this even happens. But let me get to my next video. All right. Let me drop this. Remove that. Okay, let's just remove this. Stop the screen. All right. Now this is about children. This is about the way we raise our children and the involvement and how you create broken homes. This is going to be 3 videos, okay? I'm going to go into, and let me just get it real quick. Let me get the first video. You know what? I believe that too. I believe it happens more than it's televised, Renee. Definitely. The same as with law enforcement unaliving Black people, brown people. You know, there's a lot of things that don't see the light of day. It's a lot of stuff that don't see the light of day. And you know, it was funny because I think the Rodney King incident was like the first time where the world seen how police was doing Black men. And somebody video recorded it on a VHS home camcorder that not everybody would have. But over the time, as you know, technology has gotten better, you have people that have cell phones and phone, you know, that can record stuff, and cameras everywhere on buildings and stuff like that. You see the full extent. And even with body cams, some body cams have caught, police body cams have caught police doing crooked stuff and trying to plant drugs on people. And the police officers just too dumb to know that his camera is catching them. But, without cameras, only God knows how much stuff law enforcement could have gotten away with, without cameras. I'm sure a lot of it, like you said, a lot of it happens and it never sees the light of day. It's never heard about, right? It's heard about, but it's heard about from their narrative because there is no camera to say, it didn't happen like that, right? Let me see where we at. Yeah, let me get this video. Like I said, this is going to be like 3 different videos that I'm going to play.
Committing multiple robberies. Fox 5's Shamari Stone.
Let me back it up.
In the district tonight, a 12-year-old girl arrested accused of committing multiple robberies. Fox 5's Shamari Stone has the details from Northeast.
Tonight, people are stunned that the robbery suspect is just 12 years old. One of those robberies happening right here near the Noma Gallaudet U New York Avenue Metro Station. Riders tell me as they get off trains that they can't believe that the suspect is 12 years old. Let's roll some video to show you more about these robberies. Police say the 12-year-old and a group of juveniles were out here on the 200 block of M Street Northeast trying to steal someone's bike but snatching their groceries instead and running away around 7:45 last Wednesday night. Around just 20 minutes later, someone is riding a scooter on the Metropolitan Branch Trail near the 1300 block of 2nd Street Northeast. Detectives say the 12-year-old girl and a group of juveniles grabbed the rider's book bag, stealing the scooter and a cell phone. And then this past Sunday, that's when police tracked down one of the suspects, that 12-year-old girl, charging her with all the robberies. People who live in the neighborhood are shocked that the suspect is so young.
God, where her mother at? Where this little girl mother at? Where they role models at? Where's the adults? That's the question we all trying to figure out.
It's a sad and unfortunate reality that we live in.
And tonight, police tell me that they are continuing this investigation, and they.
Now you had this little girl, 12-year-old, robbing groceries with her friends, of course, but she got caught and they're charging her with all of these robberies, right? Basically, they were stealing, taking people's stuff. You know what I mean? And the brother brought up a good point. Where is the mother at? Where the father at? Where the parents at? That's the question we're trying to figure out right now. Now, here's another video that I'm going to play that some of y'all probably heard about. And this video is about the kids that jumped on a mother and her son after school. Okay. We grab that.
It's hard to watch children circled a mother, then pinned her against a fence. Dragging the mother and her son to the ground, continuously beating them.
These children are going to have to live with this for the rest of their lives. And the children are our future, so it's not fair.
Police say it started when the 33-year-old mother, her young son, and daughter were walking near 106 and Bensley in the South Deering neighborhood. A group of kids then started chasing after them, calling them names and taunting them. Both the mother and son were beaten so badly they were taken to a hospital. Word of the attack spread quickly on social media, causing outrage among many parents. One day after the attack, demonstrators showed up at Orville T. Bright Elementary School after some posted on social media threatening to harm the children behind the attack. Several police officers showed up blocking the entrance of the school to protect kids inside. Shanice Davis lives in the neighborhood and says she recognizes the attackers.
This is not the first time the kids have done this. Just talk around the streets that these kids have pretty much been raising themselves and they have not been held accountable. They have vandalized cars. They have harassed adults and children.
To know and to find out even now that other families are affected by this. We're meeting families out here that their children been bullied and been beat on.
Chicago Police District Council member Joseph Williams was inside talking with the principal, the mother, and CPS administration.
Accountability is going to be key because if this has been going on, we need to make sure that principal be held accountable for her actions as well. This should have been documented. Parents should have been called to the school, and we got to make sure all around that is some type of accountability that's happening here.
Man, get your damn kids. Get your kids. You understand? Get your effing kids. When I was growing up, you would never see children putting their hands on adults or somebody's mother or grandmother. That would have never happened. We live in a time where things have gotten worse, and the breakdown of the family, you can see it now in society. The breakdown of what's going on in the household is now spewing out into society. That's a damn shame. Get your fucking kids, because somebody's going to hurt them, and then you're going to be crying when your child gets hurt or when they go to try to do a home invasion and get unalived. Or then they go try to rob somebody and get unalive, and now you're crying on the news because you're not being an active parent. This goes for women and men. You understand what I'm saying? This goes for women and men. I just posted a video with sisters from the 1970s saying, a sister was saying, basically, in order to fix their nation, as women, you are the first person that the children see. The children see you in the house. You decorate the homes. You are raising both male and female children in the house. A lot of these little rugrats, a lot of these little, these children that turn out to be bad seeds, they are able to do that because they have a protection at home. And a lot of these same parents in that video with them children, putting their hands, beating the hell out of that mother, them same parents will cuss out the teacher when the teacher try to tell them that their child is wrong and say, not my child, and try to get an attitude with the teacher instead of taking accountability and setting, rules and regulations for the child. This is why it is so important for a man to be in the house. It is so important. Even if he's not in the house, but to be involved and active in a child's life and checking that child all through the years. You know what I mean? Because when they get to a certain age, like 12 years old, they can't be told nothing. You see, that 12-year-old girl was robbing people. First of all, she's 12 years old. Second of all, it's a girl. Typically, you probably would think it would be a boy. You know what I mean? But get your damn kids. You know what I mean? And so that you are hurting your children by spoiling them and not raising them right. You're raising your child to go into the fucking world and get unalive or get locked up for the rest of their life. If you're not disciplining your child, if you're not setting rules in the house, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing as a parent, you are setting your child up for failure in life. And I understand a lot of parents became parents when they were still children, and the generational curse is just passed on. I understand. Like, a lot of us don't have the tools, but it's no excuse once you know what right and wrong is. And somebody is actively telling you in school every day, your child was a problem. Your child did this. Your child did this. Ma'am, could you come down to the school? Man, your child did this. And you getting upset as though your child is a damn angel, and you are going down there arguing with the teachers as though they're the problem. 9 times out of 10, your child is the problem. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to what we just witnessed with those children, I want to show you a video. Remember, I said there was three-part video to this of what I'm trying to bring to you, what I want you to understand. And this is biblical, okay?
Would you give it up after the first day?
Absolutely.
You would?
Yeah, who got time to waste?
Okay.
I got to see what I'm working with. I feel like when people talk about like, oh, I'm not going to have sex on the first day. Okay, you don't have to have sex on the first day, but I'm not going to wait no 30 days or 3 months or 6 months, because at that time I'm wasting my time.
Right.
What if we're not sexually like compatible? Then
that's true.
You're wasting our time. So, are you going to give it up on the first day?
I feel like it's the vibe. If it's the vibe and I'm feeling it, yeah, it has to be a whole vibe. If it's not there.
But nowadays, normally before.
This man asked the women out in the streets, would you give it up on the first date? She said yes. She said she needs to be sexually compatible with someone. Let me tell you something about why I said this is biblical, because in the Bible, it tells you, it speaks to men and women. No, don't be a whore. Don't be a 304. If you decide to be a hoe, what you end up doing is filling the land with wickedness. How do you do that? Because what is going to come out of a situation like that? Just having sex on the first night? A broken home? Badass kids like the videos we just watched? That's the only thing that's going to come to. It's going to come to a broken home. It's going to turn out to be a single mother, a father not around, and a child growing up unruly, going out into the world robbing people like this 12-year-old, going into the world like these children, beating up on somebody's mama that ain't gonna be playing, ain't gonna want to hear nothing. I know when I was a child, you did something to my mother, I'm not gonna want to hear nothing. I'm gonna black out on you. You can't be putting your hands on people's mothers and grandmothers and stuff like that. You're not gonna live a long life. But that's what that will produce. Sleeping around, promiscuity, casual sex creates broken homes. Thinking with your penis and not your brain creates a broken home. And then what happens with those children? Where's the guidance for those children? I know I'm saying something you probably never heard before. I know it. But it's the fucking truth. Excuse my language, y'all. I know I'm on one tonight. It's the truth. It's the truth. You really want to fix black families, you need to have a black man and a black woman in the household. That's just the truth. It's no way around it. Statistically, theoretically, spiritually, any way you want to look at it, a two-parent household is how you create, successful children. But if you're sleeping around, if you're having sex on the first night, oops, oh, I'm pregnant. You don't even know the woman. The woman, as a woman, you don't even know this man. She got a nice body, but you didn't know she got a hell of a mouth and an attitude. Oh, so now you're not there. Now the child is growing up without, proper guidance. Now the child is on the 4 o'clock news for robbing people. Now the child is on the news for getting unalive, for doing a home invasion, being a follower and trying to be tough because they didn't have no guidance, because they came from a broken home and from a father and a mother that made bad choices. All right. Renee said, I pray that my kids never have to experience anything like that. I will smile in my mugshot. I pray that you understand. I pray that you understand. And it was a lot of you see that story. A lot of those parents, they heard about it and they went up to the school, and some of them was threatening to put hands on those children. And one of those children that was seen in the video, they said they've been a problem forever. And they've been reporting this for forever. They've been bullying other kids. And so you had a whole bunch of parents the next day that wanted to put hands on those children, that put hands on that woman, because that was a very sad video to see. A woman getting beat up by people's children that should know to respect their elders, that should know that you don't put your hands on an adult. And she was a little lady. You know what I mean? If they're willing to do that, they're willing to do it to an elderly lady or elderly man. And this is a cancer, and this is the problem in our world. I say our world, in the black world. You know what I mean? That's an issue. And black parents got to take accountability for their badass kids. Last night I watched it's a new Predator movie. I watched the new Predator movie, and in that movie, that new Predator, he became friends with this little, it was like a gremlin-like creature. Come to find out, this little creature that was helping him along the way, it had a mother. The mother was this giant monster that you cut off the arms or whatever and it regenerate, but it was a big creature, a monster. Just imagine like a Godzilla-like monster with spikes all over it. But its little baby was a monster too. And that's what a lot of people, a lot of these women in these households is creating. You're creating monsters. You're a monster, and you create a little baby monster that goes out into the world, destructive, hurting people, and not understanding what they're doing because they're just children. So you can't really blame the children. You have to blame the mother. You have to blame the father. You can't blame the children. But that's what y'all creating. Y'all creating little gremlins, little monsters that don't understand what they're doing. And before they even get to live their life, they destroy themselves. Right? That's it on it. I'm done with that. So I want to go over white fragility real quick. So this is from Robin DiAngelo. She's the woman that wrote the book White Fragility. And I just want to hit about 1 or 2 points that she is discussing. Okay. Let's see. Let me put this up.
Fragility just came out of my mouth in a moment of frustration, like, oh, this white fragility, right? Just like here's somebody else falling apart just because you mentioned that, you know, being white has meaning. I mean, that's how fragile we can be, that to just say white.
You hear that? She said that's how fragile we can be as white people, for somebody to just say white. I know you experienced this as a Black and brown person. You experience, like, you know, just saying white or just connecting whiteness to something that is the truth, but it might not be in a good light, and they just lose it. So if you bring up Jim Crow, you bring up slavery, you bring up ICE detention centers, you bring up different issues that are moral issues, but also they are not, you know, white people won't be seen in a good light. It's a very fragile situation, and just mentioning those things, they go off the Richter. Okay, it's and we're talking about the fragility of the illusion of whiteness. Okay,
Can upset somebody, but it's not fragile in its impact. And I think that's really important. Sometimes people who don't read it see white fragility and say, oh, you think white people are weak. I think our stamina is very low, but it's a bit like broken glass. And somebody recently said it's like a bomb is fragile, right? Because behind it is leveraged the weight of institutional power and control. And so it's dangerous. You know, when we have that meltdown, when we get upset and defensive, often whoever caused that defensiveness, things get worse for them, not better.
that is crazy, but that is the truth. She was basically saying that it's like white fragility is holding up the illusion of white supremacy. So if you break down that illusion, you know, it's like walking on glass. It's like, you know, a bomb about to explode, you know. And so when you upset them, then, you know, it's very dangerous, because then, you know, people get hurt and things like that. And it's so refreshing for me all the time to actually encounter white people like Robin that are very, very honest. Okay. Very honest, and tell you, will say what it really is. You know what I mean? And, you know, of course, people like her become a sort of enemy or traitor to white people, because she talks about, you know, not just the racist, but the everyday white person who's a liberal, who I'm sorry about that. How long? I'm sorry about that. The sound just turned off on its own. Shout out to you, Madana. I didn't even know the sound went off. I didn't know the sound went off. The sound just went off on its own. But anyway, like what I want to say, what I did say, is that we appreciate people like her because typically you don't have people that will admit. Guess I got to do it, make sure I'm looking at the sound, right? The sound just switched off on me. Typically you have people that typically you have white people that won't admit. And she goes into the fact that a lot of, the people that for instance, we look at the white supremacists and they're very vocal and how they don't like black people, Mexicans or whatever. We understand that and we can appreciate that because that's right in your face. But you have progressive liberal people who basically they are racist, but it's in a different way. And so she exposes those type of people with this white fragility. And so people like her will be looked at as traitors because they're exposing and they're casting a light on how white people really think. They're looked at as outcasts, as whistleblowers, but for conscious black people, we appreciate the whistleblowers. Okay, we appreciate the so-called traitors of of white supremacy. Okay. Let me see. There's some more I wanted to go into. Okay. Where we at? Where was I at?
I see it came from the community that I live in, from the
There is another part that I wanted to go over.
made that affect the lives of those who typically are not at the table. You need to notice that. Wait a minute, who's this going to affect and how do we know? And I do want to share this story.
I'm not going to waste the time to scrub through it because I had the timestamps in my head, right? But what they talk about is something that I talked about, which is chattel slavery. Okay. You know what? Maybe I should get that. Let me see. I know I wrote it down. Oh, yeah. 1 second, y'all. I know I wrote it down. Let me get that. Let me see where we at. Where was that at? Let me see.
I have had so many people of color, Black people in particular, say to me, give me.
And that's not it. Was it
2020?
Right. Most borrowed books from
about any feedback to the contrary. And I'm not sure you could have come up with a more effective way to protect racial discrimination than having to prove intent, which is very difficult to do.
I think I wrote down the wrong timestamp, y'all. My bad. But she basically emphasized the fact that a lot of times, when we talk about slavery, they say that, it happened to everybody, when in fact, nothing, what happened in the transatlantic slave trade, as far as being chattel slaves, that didn't happen to everybody. Basically, that's what she said. And that's something that, you always hear me say. I think I even said it last week when people talk about, oh, everybody has been enslaved. And what the attempt is to minimize or to take away the stench of the transatlantic slave trade and say, okay, well, if everybody were slaves, then the slave trade doesn't mean anything. What happened to Black people no longer means anything. And so what they try to do is take the power out of the transatlantic slave trade by saying, oh, the Irish were slaves and the Barbary slave trade. And, and it goes back to white fragility, whereas you cannot connect them to anything negative, or it's just a total shutdown. And from our perspective as Black people, it looks as though they are compassionless. They have no compassion. Have no compassion, have no empathy, and are just brute. Plain and simple, just brute. You know, because it's like, how can you call yourself a human being and have that type of attitude when, you know, we as Black people, we have compassion for everybody. We care so much about everybody that we forget to care about Black people. Like, you hear Black people talk, you know, saying they standing with Palestinians. I remember, you know, any little thing that's going on in the world, Black people will be the first people, other than white people, to put free this place, pray for this place. And so you see us, with everything we done went through, we still have the ability to just have compassion and care. And even if we don't understand, we'd be like, we know it's wrong. And so that's why we care. That's why we're speaking on that particular issue, right? But anyway, I'm gonna move on. Okay, we're gonna drop that, and I want to get this right here. Now, you see this sign. This is at a protest, okay? And it says pro-Black isn't anti-white. I just want to say, man, why are we like this as Black people? I'm asking y'all watching, why? And you probably wondering where am I getting at? But I'm asking, why are we like this? Pro-Black isn't anti-white. Why are we like this? Right? Let me just say, let me just go into this, right? Now, they're at a protest, and you have a sign that says pro-Black isn't anti-white. Why do you need to even say that? Like, why is it even necessary? Why in the mind of a Black person it's necessary? Renee said they don't want to upset the white man. Madonna said they love their oppressor. I agree with both of those things. I agree with what Renee said. Is you don't want to get them upset. Why? Because what we just went over, white fragility, right? And Madonna said, they love their oppressor. That's basically what they have termed Stockholm syndrome that a lot of Black people have. But when it comes to being pro-Black or being pro your people or loving your people, first of all, to even say you're pro-Black, you're making an attempt to fight all of the brainwashing and the self-hatred and the oppression to say, overall, I'm going to love my people. Overall, I'm going to be for my people. Through it all, I'm going to be for my people. And I could never be that person that says, that thinks I have to explain myself to white people. I have to explain myself to anyone, to any people. Because I have love for my people. That doesn't even make sense, but we're the only people that think like this. We're the only people that are afraid to openly say, I love Black people. Openly say, I love Black women. Openly say, I love Black men. We have been the people historically that have forgiven and wanted to love everybody. But now you see a new thing with Black people that, I love my people first. I prefer my people first. Nothing wrong with it. That's a God-given right. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. But why in your mind you think that you got to explain to people your love for your people? That's Stockholm syndrome. That's a slave mentality. I don't care what anybody else thinks. Think what you want to think. Assume what you want to assume. I'm going to tell you I love my people first, unapologetically, and I don't give a damn what you think. God gives me that right to love my people. Why do I have to walk around and say, oh, I love my people, but hey, Massa, I just want to let you know, I don't got no problem with you, Massa. Boss, you been good to me, Massa. Boss, you done did a lot for me. You got me these Nikes, you got me these Jordans, you got me this Chanel, this Louis Vuitton. But I wants to love my people, but I also want you not to think that I hate you. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think. And Black people, why do you care? Why you don't feel like you can just profess your love for your people? There's nobody on the face of the earth that would say something like that. You think an East Indian is going to come out and say, I love my people, but loving my people and being pro-Hindu, pro-East Indian is not anti-white. You know why you think like that? And you know why you think that white people will think that you're anti-white? Because white people do think that you're anti-white when you say you love your people. You know why? Because in their mind, you saying that you love Black people is like them saying they don't love Black people. Like, because you think like that, because when white people say they love white people, they hate Black people. They are anti-Black. You get what I'm saying? And so my advice to you, sister said, when we say we're pro-Black, we really love not our people, but love. Right? Why do you? I'm not explaining anything to nobody. That's just it. That's just it. I could never see myself thinking like this. I could never see myself saying this. I don't care enough about other people's, other groups, other races' feelings and their assumptions to even give a damn. I just don't care. I just don't care. Black people have been through so much. Haven't our ancestors been through enough? Our ancestors had to laugh, put their heads in barrels to laugh around white people. And you're going to tell me as a free Black person, you're not in chains no more, Negro. As a free Black person, you're afraid to say you love your people? Man, please. Miss me with all that. Miss me. I don't even care what they assume. My ancestors been through too much where they couldn't talk, where they couldn't laugh, where they couldn't love. So I'm going to do it now. And I'm going to do it unapologetically. You can miss me with trying to appease somebody else and make them feel okay, make them feel, like I'm not coming for them. Feel how you want to feel. Think whatever you think about me, what you want to think. Assume what you want to assume. I'm still going to say that I love my people. All right? Now, let's get where we at. I got one more video, right? And then we're going to do that Black Authentic quiz and we're going to be up out of here. Right. Let's remove this. Let's remove that. Oh, wait. Before I get into this video, this is really sad. I'm gonna play this video, all right? This is sad. I'm just play the video.
He's dead. Today I live. Why?
I shot at him, bro. I didn't know.
Shot at him?
I didn't know. In the back.
Medical. Camera unit. Hang on. So I don't know what's going on. People are saying somebody shot. One girl wants me to arrest him.
Road raging. He came up around the side, like on the merge. You know where the what's the one that takes you northbound, eastbound over there?
Where's he going at right now?
It's in the car on the passenger side. It's on the
Over here. I gotta figure everything out.
Yeah, no, it's 100%.
Happen.
I shot at him, dude. I didn't even know you had a kid in the car and stuff.
This video is about a road rage incident that happened in Las Vegas on Friday. And in this, you see in this video, the father of the child that was killed is crying out saying, my son is dead. He was taking his son to school in the morning, his 11-year-old son, and this devil, 22-year-old devil, road rage, shot into the vehicle. I believe he hit his son in the head. He died instantly. And I've went on posts where people are saying, well, at least he took accountability. He had no choice but to take accountability. You dumbass. How mad can you be that early in the morning? That you would shoot into somebody else's vehicle. How dumb is that? That's insane to be that upset that early in the damn morning. The video that I saw that was longer than this is so terrible because I'm a father. If you have children, you can understand. You can have empathy and just you don't want to think that way. Imagine losing your child so heinously and so instantly for something that you probably don't even know you did while driving at the hands of some devil. In a righteous world, that devil will got justice right. It would have been no explaining. The video that I saw, that father, and the videos, it's long, it is a video longer than that. And the father is literally, he's just laid out on the ground. He just laid out on the ground, screaming out and crying that his son is dead. That is something. It makes your blood boil. You know what I mean? And you can only feel this if you have children. And I'm not saying you can't feel it like, but it's horrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's unfortunate. My thoughts, my heart goes out to that father, you know what I mean, that lost his son. I don't know if it's his only son. I don't know, but you know, that's terrible. That's life-changing. And it was stupid and it was senseless. And they need to hit that devil with the book. 22 years old should do life in prison. The same way, you know, they throw years, they throw black and brown men under the jail for nonviolent crimes. For nonviolent crimes. He should be thrown under the jail. He should never see the light of day. You know. Anyway, let me get to this last video.
We don't do Nike Tech. We don't do coffee.
It's straight quarter zips and marches around here. He was talking about putting on a Nike tech to come outside. I told him, what are you doing? You upgraded in life. You wear glasses.
Now, this is a new trend, okay? It's a new trend. It's called the quarter zip trend, where you're seeing young black males, middle-aged black males, older black males put on a quarter zip sweater, you know, with the shirt and the tie under, the slacks, some nice shoes, and look distinguished, holding a Starbucks coffee and saying that this is what we doing over wearing, you know, hoodies, Nike Tech sweaters and all of that. And I actually think that this is a good, you know, it's a positive viral trend. So I approve this positive viral trend. And the way that it is trending, the fact that it's trending, it just goes to show you that we could make black businesses thrive, because these brothers are wearing these quarter zips, like these sweaters, like right in this video, these brothers, they got on polo sweaters. All of them got on Ralph Lauren sweaters. They're not cheap. Okay. The shoes, you know, the Stacey Adams and all that, like the look, right? Imagine if we could make something viral where we're going to black-owned companies, black-owned businesses because of a trend. This trend that people are following. And once again, like I said, it is a positive trend. And now here's the, how can I say, here's the other side to this. Now, in the comments of one of these videos with the young man, someone said, imagine, well, when they see how people receive them and they see how differently people treat them, they'll never go back to wearing hoodies and dressing that way. Okay. It doesn't matter, right? Whether you in a hoodie or a three-piece suit, you know, that is really not what it's about. Now, I know in our heads, we think like what we've been trained to think in the black community is that the way, the more professional or white we dress will be more accepted. If we shave our face and we're clean cut, we're more accepted. And you take a little bit of bass out of our voice, we're more accepted. That's not true in actuality. It's not true. It's not true at all. Martin Luther King wore a suit. He talked about peace and nonviolence and all of that. That did not matter. They shot Martin Luther King in the face. What are you saying, Thawal? What I'm saying is, this is a great trend. It's a positive trend. It's viral. It's good look. It's a good look, right? But your conduct is always going to determine how people treat you. How you present yourself, how you treat people is more important than how you're dressed. You are going to get judged regardless, whether you're in a black man in a hoodie or you're a black man in a suit. Whether you're a black man in a hoopty or you're a black man in a luxury vehicle, you are still going to be looked at differently. So the best way to change people's minds about you is not how you dress, but how you conduct yourself, how you talk, your manners, how courteous you are. You get what I'm saying? That will go farther. You can't focus on how we dress. You can't focus on how you should dress. As, you know, people will treat me differently. As a black person, they're going to treat you how they're going to treat you. anyway. And they're going to look at you. They may not say it. They're going to look at you how they look at you anyway. You know what I mean? They're going to look at you how they look at you anyway. So many times, Black folks get a wake-up moment by thinking that because you drive a very nice vehicle or you wear nice clothing, expensive clothing, or you have expensive jewelry, that somehow separates you from other Black people. It doesn't. It doesn't. You know, you can name Oprah Winfrey. She got denied buying a purse, one of those Birkin bags, because they didn't think she had the money. They didn't even know who she was in Sweden. Oscar award winning Forrest Whitaker got followed around a bodega because they thought he was gonna steal. They didn't know who he was. But they saw a Black man. You get what I'm saying? So we can't focus on how we dress or whatnot. Now I will say it's sharp. You look sharp and clean cut. That's good for you. But always remember, your conduct is more important. You got hitmen that wear suits, nice suits, expensive Italian suits. They go and assassinate somebody, right? It's not about that. It's about how we conduct ourselves. That should be a viral trend, how we conduct ourselves, how we are brotherly and sisterly and kind and compassionate, and we show mercy to one another. That should be a viral trend. All right. So with that, y'all, I'll wrap that up, all the videos and everything. We're going to get into this Black Authentic Truth Black History Quiz. Okay. We're going to get up out of here. All right. I need some music, like a drum roll or something like that. So first on the list, let's see, I'm going to mix it up. Okay. Let's mix it up. All right. So first one, I'll go with this one. You got 10 seconds. No, I'm sorry. Okay. All right. 10 seconds starting now. Who is this lady? All right. Who is this woman? I'll give you a hint. She was a nurse. I'm going to put her name in the thing. I give it a little bit more time. All right. Nobody know. This is Maud Callan. Maud Callan, South Carolina. She was a nurse. She went to school, learned how to be a nurse, opened up her own clinic, and she served a very poor community called Moncks Corner. Actually, Charlemagne the God is from Moncks Corner. This is a community far out in the woods, very far from any hospitals. She went into that community and she taught the women how to be midwives. She also serviced the people as being a psychiatrist or therapist. She also brought food and clothes for the children and for the people there. And she taught, I think, about 400 Black women to be midwives there, okay? Because they were so far away from any hospital. Now, my next one is, let me put her name in there. My next one is, let's see. Should know this one. Who was this middle-aged man? Put his name in here. Did I spell that right? Yeah. Who is this middle-aged man? Come on, y'all. Y'all got to get it together. Y'all, I'm done with y'all, man. Y'all don't be rocking with me like I really think y'all do. I'm just kidding. All right, I give it like 5 more seconds. All right, Renee Gaines. Oh, Renee got it. This is Dick Gregory. Okay. That's right. Renee got it. Okay. That's right, Ron Coleman. Ron got it also. I was going to put it in the chat, but I guess I don't need to. All right. So now I'm moving on to this next one. Who is this? Who is this woman? I'm going to give you a hint. It's not Harriet Tubman. It's not Harriet Tubman. All right. Put her name in here. That's right, Ron. I guess I ain't got to put the name in there. That's right, Ron. Sojourner Truth. She was a abolitionist and women's activist during the times of slavery. Okay. All right. Okay. Now let's get this one. Who is this? I'm gonna put that in there. Who is this sister, this beautiful sister right here? Ron, you smoking. Ron and Renee, y'all smoking. Ron, you are impressing me. That's right. This is Althea Gibson. This is the first Black woman to win the Wimbledon tournament. Okay. Ron, you smoking. You is smoking. All right. All right, let me get this next one. Who is this? I used a younger picture. I should have used the older picture, but who is this handsome young man? I'll give you a hint. In this picture, he is fried, dyed, and laid to the side. All right. I give you like 10 more seconds. Okay. And let me see. I'll put his name in here. Did I write that right? Yeah, I did. All right. This is Garrett Morgan. Garrett Morgan is he's an inventor. He's an innovator. He was a community leader. Garrett Morgan, he invented hair creams, hair relaxer creams. He also invented the precursor to what you know today as the stoplight and the gas mask. Okay. Renee, I think you was right. I think that's his middle name. Garrett Augustus Morgan, I believe. Let me double check. Let me double check. Let me see. Yes, that's his middle name, Garrett Augustus Morgan. Right. I couldn't remember his middle name, but you were correct too. Renee and Ron, y'all was smoking. Y'all was smoking. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that was Garrett Morgan. Yeah, so I look forward to doing this Black Authentic Truth quiz at the end of the lives because it just keeps us sharp. And a lot of times what you're going to see me do is use some people that I've used before because it's just like a buildup of getting to know familiar faces excuse me, in Black history. So yeah, that's always fun. And like I said, Ron and Renee, y'all was smoking on that one. So I'm about to wrap it up, y'all. All right. For some reason, this might keep disconnecting on the brother. Renee said, I loved Black history at school. I used to love Black history too. I was in the Black history spelling bees, Black History Month. I was always participating, that it was really nice learning about the fact that so many Black people contributed to the society that we live in. So that was always dope, always, an experience learning and or choosing a person to learn about in Black history. But anyway, y'all, I'm about to get up out of here. I appreciate brothers and sisters for rocking with me. Let me give y'all some shout outs real quick. Shout out to Kyle Maz Boff. Shout out to Renee Gaines, always rocking with me. Shout out to the sister Manona. Shout out to Ron Coleman. Shout out to Sister Baratanawa. Man, y'all are the real MVPs. I appreciate y'all, right? I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Excuse me. I hope you enjoy, the rest of your evening this Sunday, getting prepared for tomorrow, the work week, the school week, just handling business in general. I'm Tawaga Bar for Black Authentic Truth, and I will see y'all very soon. All right. With that, y'all stay straight. Peace. This is Black Authentic Truth.